Hi, my name is Alejandro. I'm here to discuss a misconception. It's the misconception between primitive versus advanced. I'm mostly focusing on humans and chimps and how they're related and not descended from each other. So to begin with this, we need to discuss what evolutionary theory is and how it was proposed. And it was proposed by Charles Darwin in 1859, and it proposed that newer species will arise from current species through changes. He brought up ideas such as natural selection, which is how an animal can be favored over another because of changes that occurred in it. And he also proposed that there's randomness within evolution, that everything is up to pure chance. Additionally, which came later in newer evolutionary theories, was population genetics, which allows us to pinpoint where each species comes from and where they descended from and when that species becomes different from another. So now evolutionary theory has been determined to be an idea that most or all species on Earth possess a common ancestor and that they all evolved with traits that aid them to prosper in their own environment. Now, it's not just only evolutionary theory, there's other forms of evidence. It's not just an idea. One of the very clear evidences that we have is that the five major vertebrate groups, such as fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds, are all connected to each other through physical changes in their body structures. These body structures had certain purposes, and they changed over time through evolution, and this allows us to link these organisms and put them in order. Additionally, understanding these body structures and where they fall and classify these organisms between vertebrate and invertebrate allows us to further narrow down where our common ancestors are and determining if that organism even falls within that group. Now, using these concepts, we also bring in new ones such as adaptive mutation, which is a concept that was given to an organism that they do take advantage of this mutation by pure chance, and they adapt pretty well. Additionally, we have a newer concept called evolutionary gene, which is that one singular gene that is known to be the center point or what caused that change in that organism. So using all of these concepts, we can form something known as a phylogenetic tree, shown here, and it helps us aid where that animal or organism has officially parted ways from that common ancestor and became a new species. So that's where this comes in, which shows that chimps and humans are not descendant from each other, but rather that chimps and humans are related to each other, sharing one singular common ancestor. And this common ancestor answers our misconception that chimps and humans are related, but we did not descend it from chimps. Now that we've discussed what evolutionary theory is and that we cleared all concepts and determined that chimps and humans are related and not descendant, we can discuss how the public took this. We should discuss first religion and evolution, because this is the very first problem the public took. When the evolutionary theory came out from Charles Darwin, it was taken extremely negatively and thought that it went against religion because the religious group thinks that humans are made in God's image, and the scientific community thought that we actually evolved and there's evidence to support it, it ended up being just separated from each other. Moving away from religion and more focused on culture, evolution is not just biological, but social as well. Because things such as relationship, communication, and communities are also considered part of evolution. And it allowed for the formation of what we know as society today. Additionally, using evolution as a way to determine where humans originated from and how we spread across the world allows us to bind culture and biology into one and understand where cultures originated from, how we developed things such as skin pigmentation, and other forms of culture. Now that we discussed the societal aspects to evolution, such as religion and culture, one of the biggest things within evolution is the ethics behind it. because you need to lose so many organisms for even to see one singular evolutionary change. Is it really worth it? Is the question behind this. We have to kill millions in order to see an advance in the next generation. That's why we don't see evolution happen before our eyes. It takes multiple and multiple years for evolution to occur. So, to wrap up the video, did humans evolve from monkeys? We share a common ancestor. We are merely related to monkeys. We share that one common ancestor, and from there we split. What determines this split is things that we discussed: genetic mutations, and looking at the gene, and those physiological changes in their body structures are what help us determine that split. And additionally, things such as natural selection, randomness, all of that, it helps us understand this concept. I hope you enjoyed this video and now understand this misconception.